Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stresses to us so many times in the Quran the importance of birrul walidain, obeying, honoring, respecting our parents. When we're talking about how you raise your kids and what you should do when you raise your kids and listening to them and those types of things, Al-Imam al-Qayyim rahimahullah, he starts off his dialogue, his discussion on this subject by saying the following. He says that if you have a child that's disobedient to you, the asl, the default is usually that you messed up. Let me put it to you this way. Not every single parent who has a disobedient child is at fault. Not every single parent who has a child that grows up with this horrible temper, that grows up not to love the deen the way that they did, is at fault. Nuh alayhi salam is the primary example of that. But the vast majority of the time that is the case. Al-Imam al-Qayyim rahimahullah, he says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created every single human being in a very selfish way. We treat everyone essentially like HMOs, like it's a business contract. What I want to do when I establish a friendship, when I establish any relationship in this life, is I want to extract maximum benefit from you while giving you the minimum. Just like an insurance company. I want you to give me as much as you can, and every relationship I will put in that same light. How much do I get from you and how much do I have to give? Whenever that equation tilts the other way, then all of a sudden I'm going to start acting differently. Have you ever had a friend that did something really good for you, that was there for you in your time of need, but whenever it came time for them, when they were in a state of emotional vulnerability, and they kept on calling your phone, eventually you just got sick of it and you said, I'm not going to answer this call anymore. This is getting draining. This relationship is draining. Even though at your time of need, they were there for you. Why? Because you're no longer on the receiving end. You're too far on the giving end now. Rasulullah ﷺ tells us what? Man la yashkur nas. He doesn't thank Allah. Whoever does not thank people, is not grateful to people, will never be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But listen to what Imam al-Qayyim rahimahullah said that's so beautiful. He said that hadith can also be flipped. And just like whoever is not grateful to people will not be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whoever is not grateful to Allah will never be grateful to people. Think about that for a moment. A lot of times parents come and they say, how can I make my children love me? What is going to keep your child in your corner? What is going to keep your child loving you? Responding to every one of your requests when the time comes where you are the one who needs your diapers changed. When you are now in the dependent phase. What will keep them in that state except for being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Understanding the command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To respond with that same mercy with even greater mercy and compassion. So Imam al-Qayyim rahimahullah puts it point blank. You want your kids to be good to you? You want your kids to never forsake you? Teach them to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Teach them to be thankful to Allah. Teach them to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you can succeed in instilling in them the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when they get older, they're going to love you too. Because Allah commands them to do that.